My name is Kennedy Mkutu, and I teach international relations at USIU. Today we are in Suswa. Suswa has two sections. We have the lower Suswa, where, if you've heard of the SGR, this is the rail from all the way to Mombasa ends. And so we have the dead end, where they say the rail to nowhere ends in lower Suswa. And then we have the internal port that is also being done, but also there's an envisioned business park. Also in Lower Suswa is where the wind power all the way from Turkana ends, but also we have the Kentraco, and the Kentraco is a power line that starts all the way from Ethiopia, and it comes through Samburu, and it comes and ends in Lower Suswa. So Suswa becomes very, very important. Now where we are in the Upper Suswa. The Geothermal Development Corporation has already done the surveys. Sooner or later is hoping to come here and drill geothermal power. And so here we are seeing mega projects, intensification of infrastructure. So part of the mega projects, we've been looking at the GDC, and that is why we are here today, to just give a feedback to the community what our findings are, because number one, it will validate the work, but number two, it's part of the constitution of Kenya that participation is crucial. So development on pastoral rangelands. Between August and September 2021, we did the research in the county. All we wanted to do was examine what is happening in the rural area earmarked for development. What is the impact not only of the development, but people's activities in response to them?
Due to mass development all over around, I'm afraid of our conservancy or the locals living here might not be happy with living in some years to come. The government seems to be pushing on geothermal production to be drilled in this area. I think that will definitely completely destroy the living of people here. And even people might be forced to move away from this land. And this we have seen neighboring friends or a section of our community who lives at Olkaria, whereby now they are just landless, they are just living nowhere.
Kiti yango sidai yule. Nikitejike wonunu yadany na ikidola na kinyalaki yo maisha. Mekiata enkare sidai. Nikiyiolo naa kilotu airibu entonata ang' metaa mikitoni kilosho enikitoni. Neeku kiyieu duo nikitum entoki nai naidim atareto yiok tenaa isidai tenemesidai. Niking'oru entoki naret yiok amu kegol tenikilau entonata nikitoni onkera ang'.
This is the vents, and if you look here you can see from the ground there are pipes that have been put, and you can see the water dropping, and right there is the container that the water goes into, and this is the water that the people on Mount Suswa drink.
And when we interviewed women around the villages here, they expressed their fear about issues of miscarriage or stillbirths if GDC comes, because this is being experienced in Olkaria. When we were doing the field work on SGR project, the community kept complaining that researchers keep coming, they take so much data from them, they've been over-researched, yet nobody comes back to even educate them or share with them. They don't even see those reports. So they wanted something that will validate that we were here, their voices were heard, and that we appreciate them.
Gas released by some types of geothermal plants. So we have hydrogen sulfide, you have sulfur dioxide, and basically this is what we call acid rain. And acid rain affects plants.
There were so many issues coming out when we talked with the communities. Some of the fears and threats that came with this project is that the issues of land were coming out, the community felt that the government was not fair in terms of land value and issues of compensation. SGR also brought a lot of violence with it. There were a lot of violent protests. There were also, with job, there were also issues of 70%. The locals wanted them to be given 70% as per the constitution. The contractors and SGR company was not able to do that because the locals did not have skills.
We can't go home. You see the land, people have encroached. We have no chambers. So we are just there. Now our future is dark. We don't know who grabbed the land, where the sand is. Now we see when you go there, you find the gunmen, police, well armed. They can chase you from here to another place. They can tell you that you can come here only the daytime, but at night no. So you see we have a lot of challenges. Even the fee that we used to pay there before, it has now raised. It was 1,000 shillings, but now it is 3,000 shillings. Even our livestock here, we don't take it for grass there. They don't want. We are being chased. They have fence. They have put some big holes. Now you see, we are just going.
As a young person, I see tomorrow it's a bit complicated. Yeah, it's hopeless because I've been in school, I've learned, I've gotten everything. The companies are coming to my place, but then unapata siandikwi job na saizi nafanya kazi ya bodaboda. I thought bodaboda ni kazi yenye inaweza fanywa na mtu yeyote, si ndio? So for me, ni kama education so far haijanisaidia mpaka hapa. We understand that Kenya wasisi wasewa huku ndo wana job ni wengi. But then let it be like when a certain company comes here, let us benefit. Let us say imekuja hapa na tumesaidika.
When we think about the top 10 geothermal countries by 2020, Kenya was one of them. So what do we know about the geothermal environmental impact?
When a project comes or when development comes, it comes with advantages and disadvantages. Definitely if it comes, it will probably do the roads, which is an advantage because we don't have a good road. Probably they might bring water, which is also good because we depend on rainwater, we harvest rainwater. And probably schools will be built and all this because we have schools here. Maybe they'll upgrade them and then maybe they'll bring in electricity because we don't have electricity. We also have disadvantages because there is environmental pollution. So we don't know what effect it is going to have on the environment. Because when I look at generally the study of geothermal, wherever they have done in the world, you have to vacate that place because of the odor of the gas and all this. So, and I understand that it messes the environment and it also messes the wildlife. The fear is that we might not enjoy the environment, the natural environment, the way we are enjoying it now. What we have, if you can retain it for prosperity, so that they can learn and see what we have, if it can be sustained for future.
Kwangu matumaini ya kesho sasa, mimi sikuwa nataka GCD kuje huko juu, itaharibu kwanza hewa ya huku. Sasa wakikuja si watatuhamisha huku, watutafutia mahali pa kwenda, mahali pazuri, watutafutie pia biashara ya kufanya.
There's a big change already because of the railway line and the tarmac road. because the railway line has affected the giraffe, the elephants, movement of the zebra from Naivasha to Mount Suswa Conservancy, and also the population increase of humanity is quite hectic also. But if we can change it to balance it, we can still improve it.
The Maasais around Olkaria have a right to call themselves indigenous group. We should also remain united so that you can share the resources. In terms of future, with the SGR, I see in the long term, the project is going to benefit Kenya and the community, but in the short term, the community cannot feel the presence or the benefit that they are looking for in terms of job or economic value. They won't feel it immediately, but in the long run, I see a bright future for this community having that project, because it's a privilege to have a station or an SGR passing through Narok County and not in any other county among the 47 counties. So it's a privilege to have such kind of a project in Narok, and especially in Suswa, a small town that is now expanding. So I see future developments, a lot of expansions. I see urban growth coming in Suswa that was very small with a small population. And I also see a lot of in-migration in the future, because these projects are attracting other Kenyans to want to settle here, to do businesses here. So I see a lot of business opportunities for the locals, and they will be exposed to the international community when even international tourists will be using the train to get to Mara. So this is going to expose the indigenous community more to the international world.
I would love my leaders to assist the society. First of all, they should bring up other activities that will stop cutting down of trees, that is giving women other activities they can do too, so that they can provide for their families. We can have them do beading, as they are good in beading. As a designer, I would love to assist women so that they will know how to run machines, so that they may make items, small items like bags, so that we can sell them outside. We can use Maasai designs, Maasai shukas. We can do beading on those bags so that we can sell them. That will help us so that we will stop cutting down trees and selling those charcoal. We might sell those bags and instead that will be another income activity for us.
One of the biggest threats is land. With the SGR, there was a lot of speculation. The community could lose the land through speculation, whereby the Maasais are selling land. But the question is, you sell the land, where are you moving to? The community are pastoralists. In terms of land, what happens to their livelihood? Are we giving them an alternative? The other thing is, this is a conservancy. You have wildlife. Whether we like it or not, yes, geothermal is quoted as clean power. But the question is, what happens on the ground? What happens to the conservancy? What happens to the wildlife? We are asking about, okay, should we go for the power, or should we keep the environment for the future generations? In terms of development, we need to ask ourselves, any development, is this development good? The future I see for the country is, unless we change our values, I see disaster. For the young people, they've got to see a better tomorrow. And how do you see a better tomorrow? You have to sacrifice today to have a better future.